CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Good evening. Police say the death of a 92-year-old man in Ponoka County is a homicide. The man lived close to Musquecheese. As CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports, people who knew him say they considered him part of the First Nation community.
Being my age, it's really hard to see why somebody would do that.
Musquecheese resident Elroy Strawberry Rain says he doesn't know why anyone would hurt his longtime neighbor and friend, Lowell Fensky.
He had any enemies or anything like that?
Oh, no. He didn't know anybody. He knew me. He knew my brother Gerald. Yeah. He was very by himself.
Police say the 92-year-old was found dead outside his home last Tuesday. They say his death appeared suspicious, and on the weekend, an autopsy confirmed it was a homicide. Today, the door of his home is boarded up, shattered glass on the ground outside. The RCMP Major Crimes Unit is investigating.
I knew him all my life. It's hard.
Strawberry Rain remembers Fensky fondly. He says he met him as a young boy at Fensky's home and family farm, just a few minutes away from the reserve.
My dad would walk there when I was 5 years old, go get eggs, and the parents were very giving, and we accepted him, and he accepted us.
Strawberry Rain says Fensky didn't have any children, and his wife died more than a decade ago. He said Fensky used to farm, but sold his equipment years ago. He says he would occasionally see him checking his fence or his mailbox in town, and would say hello.
Native way you're supposed to respect people that old.
As part of their investigation, police are searching for dash cam video between 9 p.m. Monday, February 23rd and 3 a.m. on the 24th around the Bear Hills Casino and Highway 2A from Highway 611 traveling south into Ponoka. Strawberry Rain is hopeful what happened will come out soon. Reporting from Ponoka County, Nicole Weisberg, CTV News.
Airstrikes are hammering Iran as the U.S.-Israeli coalition continues its military operation. At the same time, conflict is widening in the Middle East as Iran strikes neighboring countries. U.S. President Donald Trump says he hopes the war will end in 4 to 6 weeks. He also says the country is prepared for a prolonged conflict. An Alberta professor in military studies says the longer this conflict continues, the greater the risk of it spreading throughout the entire Middle East.
So anytime that you're dealing with this type of violence, the possibility of it going escalatory because somebody achieves a success or somebody down the line doesn't get the order not to do something, that's where the dangers come when you open up this particular element, which is the real conflict.
The attacks on Iran and its leadership are being celebrated by many people in the Iranian community. On Sunday, people showed up in Churchill Square praising Israel and the U.S. for killing Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The conflict is driving up global oil prices. Last week's provincial budget used a forecast oil price of just over $60 a barrel. Since then, the price of West Texas Intermediate has jumped to more than $71. CTV's Tyler Barrow explains how this could affect Alberta's budget deficit.
Last week, the province unveiled its $9.4 billion deficit budget, notably due to low oil prices. Little more than a day later, the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran, triggering an oil crisis, something the province didn't include in its forecast.
We want the conflict to end quickly with minimal loss of life. We're watching with interest about what our friends and allies are going to need.
As of Monday afternoon, it was sitting at over $71.50. Iran exports approximately 1.6 million barrels of oil a day, but tanker traffic is now disrupted.
China relies on Iran for getting a lot of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, which of course is now pretty much frozen.
The impact goes beyond oil as 20% of liquefied natural gas is also trapped behind the Strait of Hormuz, while the waterway is also a key route for fertilizer.
There's that newfound opportunity to reestablish ourselves as a reliable supplier of both LNG and oil.
Alberta is also a major producer of LNG. U.S. President Donald Trump has stated the U.S. could be involved in the conflict for over 4 to 5 weeks.
The longer that it lasts, the more that it supports Alberta's budget.
But what's good for the province might not be for consumers.
as oil prices go, so do gasoline prices. And so it's inevitable that at some point gasoline prices are going to rise.
Smith says the current year's $4.1 billion deficit might be somewhat lower, but to balance the books for the upcoming year, the Premier said oil would need to average $74 a barrel. The finance minister said it is too soon to gauge the overall impact.
We want to have conservative forecasts. We do want the potential for upside for the province.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The province is pushing Ottawa to make nicotine pouches easier to buy. The popular products are only available over the counter at pharmacies. And while the Alberta government wants to put them back in convenience stores, anti-smoking advocates say online access for teenagers is the bigger problem. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Mint, this is peppermint, and this is spearmint.
Among the cold meds and vitamins, pharmacies like this one also have nicotine pouches for sale over the counter.
People use it when they want to quit smoking or reduce smoking.
Pharmacist Payal Patel added Zonic to her quit smoking section in 2024 after the federal health minister made it illegal to sell the pouches at convenience stores or anywhere other than a pharmacy. The move was meant to keep the addictive nicotine products away from kids, and Patel can see why.
Teenagers coming in asking for Zonic, and they were like, oh, we were able to get it from the convenience store. Why I can't get it here? And they're not even smoking, but they're using Zonic just to get the buzz.
Now the province is pushing back. In a letter to the Prime Minister, Service Alberta Minister Dale Nally says cigarettes shouldn't be easier to buy than a product that helps you quit.
Albertans are saying that, look, they want access to these products and shouldn't have to go see their pharmacist for it.
Nally argues the restriction pushes people to illegal and unregulated online markets. A quick Google search reveals multiple sites willing to deliver American nicotine pouches to Canadian addresses. While Health Canada permits 4 milligrams of nicotine per pouch, many products online offer 15 milligrams.
Well, the age verification is on the honor system, and the product that they're buying, there's no oversight on this. So it may say 15 milligrams, but how do you know it's not 30?
The minister says there are major fines for selling tobacco products to minors, which would apply to nicotine pouches too. One anti-smoking advocate believes loosening regulations would lead to unacceptable consequences.
The bigger problem is these products, these pouches are from the tobacco companies themselves. The tobacco companies want to sell these products. The tobacco companies don't care if kids get caught in the crossfire, and we've seen that over the years.
Minister Nally says government bureaucrats have been discussing the change with their federal counterparts, but the letter is the first political pressure Alberta is applying. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province is defending its decision to create a new corporation in this year's budget. Health Shared Services will cost more than $2 billion. The Premier says it will ensure all 4 of her new health agencies have proper HR, payroll, and IT functions. She says Alberta Health Services was doing too many jobs at once, and HSS will streamline those roles.
That's the next process that we have to go through, is just making sure that there isn't redundancy and overlap, because the principal goal of everything we're doing is to have fewer people in those administrative roles and more people in the frontline roles.
It's a recognition that we can be efficient by having common resources that all of these entities need in one area, so we don't have to duplicate it across all of these entities.
HSS started operating in December and has around 10,600 full-time employees. $436 million is going to HSS from primary and preventative health services. The rest of the funding is coming from revenue of the other health agencies. Friends of Medicare questions the amount of money it's taking to restructure Alberta's healthcare system.
We've never got a clear picture of that. When they announced this plan and this idea, they estimated $85 million would be the cost of this restructuring. It's obviously been far more than that, and now we're spending billions of dollars to try to reintegrate a system that was already integrated and to have someone in charge.
Chris Galloway says frontline staff feel the work isn't integrated, and we won't know how much the province spent until its annual report comes out in July. The province's plan to add extra ER doctors to help triage patients in crowded emergency rooms is also unclear. Smith says the province is in a disagreement with the Alberta Medical Association over compensation for those doctors. The AMA was unavailable to speak with us today. Covenant Health is working to create an Indigenous health plan. A team has been touring the province, gathering feedback on current concerns and barriers to accessing health care. Covenant Health says it's heard racism is keeping some people from seeking medical attention. It's also heard getting to appointments can be challenging for people in remote communities, especially in northern Alberta.
It's an ambitious goal, but hopefully by the end of the year we can, we'll be able to have a roadmap in how we can do things better.
Covenant Health says the next step includes putting together a report detailing what it's heard from community members. The Edmonton Oilers traded a draft pick for a defenseman this afternoon. The news came about an hour after the Oilers' general manager said a new player wouldn't fix his team's defensive issues.
It's not going to be magical new players. It's going to be the approach that we take as a team, understanding that going through a whole period without getting a lot of scoring chances is okay if you don't give up a lot.
Not long after he spoke with the media, Stan Bowman agreed to trade a second-round pick to the Chicago Blackhawks for Connor Murphy. The 32-year-old defenseman is in the final year of his contract and has 4 goals and 9 assists this season. He's played 805 NHL games between the Blackhawks and Coyotes. Hockey analyst Tom Gazzola says he's another experienced defenseman the Oilers can lean on.
A little bit of size, some tenacity. I don't think, there's a ton of offensive prowess there, but the veteran presence helps, a steadying hand. I think a lot of people, fan-wise, around here wanted something to be done soon, and this is something that might appease some Oiler fans, maybe not all.
The Oilers' next game is tomorrow night against the Ottawa Senators. The NHL trade deadline is Friday. 2 players on the Oilers, including a veteran forward, have cleared waivers. 29-year-old Andrew Mangiapane signed a 2-year deal in the summer worth more than $7 million. But the left winger has struggled to produce in his first season in Edmonton. He skated in 52 games with Edmonton, netting 7 goals and 14 points. Defenseman Alec Regula has played in 29 games for the Oilers this season, picking up 3 points. The 25-year-old was claimed off waivers by Edmonton from the Boston Bruins in December of 2024. The NHL's World Cup of Hockey returns in 2028. Alberta is submitting a bid for the Best on Best tournament as League Commissioner Gary Bettman visits the province tomorrow. CTV's Glenn Campbell has more.
Scotia Place is really starting to take shape and is expected to be ready for the start of the 2027-28 hockey season. And it may already be in line for one of hockey's premier events. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman will be in Calgary on Tuesday to meet with team ownership, tour the arena's construction site, and get an update on the arena's progress. Some are hoping he may even announce that Calgary will be one of the hosts for the 2028 World Cup of Hockey.
Very much in support of a potential bid. I think it would be very exciting to be able to welcome the world for this event, and I understand that there's going to be some more news coming very shortly on that.
Calgary's part of a joint bid with Edmonton to host hockey's best and the next best chance for post-Olympics Canada-US rematch. Premier Danielle Smith confirmed Monday the province has kicked in $15 million to assist with the bid.
It's going to be, I think, the second most watched sporting event in the world when it comes to hockey. So we're crossing our fingers and hoping that the NHL Players Association, as well as the owners, make a decision for the Calgary-Edmonton bid.
Tourism Calgary's been working hard on the pitch. Hosting this event would be a huge economic boost to the city.
This would genuinely bring visitors from all over the world to come and watch the highest level of best on best hockey. When you start to talk about economic impact for this would be enormous. This would be, north of 200 million type impact.
Farkas says he'll meet with Bettman on Tuesday night at the Flames Stars game, where he hopes to get more details, and that the World Cup of Hockey is just the start of things to come for this city.
Calgary's at its best when we're welcome in the world. We have that Olympic legacy of being able to welcome the world, to be able to come here to compete in Calgary. And as we think about the future prospect of hosting events like this, there's a huge business case. There's a huge economic case to continue to lean in, not just for hockey, but for all other sorts of growth industries.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Coming up next on CTV News, the times are not changing. Alberta will soon be surrounded by provinces that don't spring forward or fall back. Also just ahead, a change of scenery, the benefits for seniors trying virtual reality for the first time. A ski race organized by an Edmonton ski club was called off just before a deadly avalanche at Nicotine ski hill on Friday. The Rabbit Hill Ski Club says it canceled the race because of 15 to 20 centimeters of fresh snow. It says conditions were too dangerous if a skier were to go off course or crash. According to an Avalanche Canada report, 2 skiers were boot packing up a slope when they triggered a slide. While one teen was able to escape, 15-year-old Emilio Razdira was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital in Calgary where he died Saturday morning. Avalanche Canada is warning people about the dangerous conditions in the mountains right now.
During these tricky, dangerous conditions, more than ever, it's important that if you're going out into the backcountry, it's important to get the training, the gear, and the forecast. All 3 of those things are always critical, and right now, really having a good understanding of the forecast will help you pick safe terrain right now.
And you can view the avalanche forecast on avalanche.ca. Alberta will soon be surrounded by provinces that don't spring forward or fall back.
British Columbia is going to change our clocks just one more time and then never again.
This is how every government press conference should go. BC's premier says this spring will be the last time the province has to move its clocks. The province will then permanently be on daylight saving time. Back in 2019, more than 90% of people in BC supported eliminating the time change. Back then, the province decided to stay aligned with the United States to the south. David Eby says he hopes BC's American neighbors will join the province in ending what he calls the disruptive time change. Alberta had a referendum on time change in 2021. 50.2% of voters decided to keep the clocks moving twice a year. Saskatchewan is on standard time year-round. In a statement, Alberta's premier says they will take this all under consideration and evaluate if a similar change would be in the best interest of Albertans. The provincial government is spending $40 million on software upgrades after seeing an increase in cybersecurity attacks last year. Last week's budget says 66 applications will be updated or patched. The province says it can't provide further details on what types of software are being modernized at the risk of creating new security risks. It says some of the software programs being patched are public-facing and are monitored closely for any suspicious activity. The province says it managed close to 3,000 cybersecurity issues last year. That's up 25% compared with 2024. It also says the province managed nearly 20,000 malware attacks last year. Seniors are getting an opportunity to try out some new technology. As part of this year's Winterfest, GEF Seniors Housing introduced some of their clients to virtual reality. They got the chance to try some winter experiences like hiking and skiing.
Does it feel like you're there?
Oh, God, actually, yes. Yeah, especially on the cliffs.
These 2 brothers say they would love to use VR again since there's a lot of places they haven't seen. GEF says there are many benefits to learning new technology.
Learning new things contributes to intellectual wellness and emotional wellness when it's fostered around connection and building social relationships through shared memories or new memories.
GEF started out with 3 virtual reality headsets back in 2023. It now has access to 10. Anyone who recently bought a lotto ticket in Alberta may be a winner. Someone won $1 million in Saturday's Lotto 649 Gold Ball draw. The ticket was purchased somewhere in Alberta outside of Edmonton and Calgary. Someone also won $250,000 in Saturday's extra draw. The winner or winners have a year to claim their prize. The Canadian Pacific Rail Bridge in Red Deer is on the move. The north section was shifted this morning. Each truss weighs more than 200 metric tons, making the move a very slow process. The south section will be moved tomorrow. The move was supposed to happen last week, but was delayed due to the wind. When we return, slippery sport. Ice climbing athletes demonstrate their mental and physical grit at an event in Edmonton.
It does feel like you're kind of on the precipice of falling off at any moment.
Good evening, folks. Cloudy and cool for the next couple of days. Occasional pockets of snow as well tomorrow and Wednesday. And you know what? Let's throw in a little bit of wind for tomorrow, just to add a little cherry on top. We'll get into that and the warmer temperatures that roll back in for the end of the week in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. This will end up looking like an average day, -3 and -14, the high and the low. However, the warmest temperature that we had this afternoon was -7, which is about 5 degrees cooler than average. This daytime high of -3 came in just after midnight. Occasional pockets of light snow, a dusting to maybe in some spots as much as 2 centimeters. And we'll see a similar pattern tomorrow as far as snowfall accumulations. A dusting to maybe a centimeter or 2. But early tomorrow morning, we're on the southern edge of this, but we'll probably see some pockets of snow roll in. Back off to the west and northwest, this is where the heaviest snow is going to be, through parts of the Peace Country, down through Slave Lake, even into the West Lock areas. 10 to 20 centimeters worth of snow by the end of Wednesday. You see, this is Tuesday. There's a bit of a break for us midday tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon another wave rolls in. Wave after wave of snow, though, over the next 24 hours across areas to the north, and especially midday Wednesday just north of Edmonton. That could be a pocket of some slightly heavier snow. So most of the really significant snowfall accumulations will be northwest of the Edmonton area. Here in the city, just a couple shots of light snow. Cooler tomorrow than it was today. In fact, temperatures will be dropping through the day. -10 in the morning, -12 in the afternoon. It's a little bit milder there Wednesday, but Thursday is when we're back in the green, back above 0 for daytime highs. -15 Grand Prairie, -25 in Fort McMurray, -8 in Red Deer tomorrow morning. Jasper, -3 in the morning. 7 or 8 degrees above 0 in Jasper today. -21 Fort McMurray. -16 with snow in Grand Prairie, some heavier pockets of snow as well. Grand Prairie, Peace River, and Slave Lake. Lake Jasper, again, 7 or 8 degrees above 0 tomorrow. -6, though, for Red Deer, and about -9 in Lloydminster. Pretty sharp difference between the cooler air from Edmonton south to Red Deer and then the 8 or 9 degree temperatures that we'll see not only in the mountain parks but in Calgary as well. We'll get out of that cooler air by Thursday. Breezy conditions tomorrow. Will have it feeling more like about -15 to -20. The wind looks light for Wednesday, though, so no significant wind chill. And then Friday, Saturday, we're right back to a handful of degrees above 0 and should be slightly above 0 on Sunday as well. That is your forecast.
Some of the world's top ice climbing talent hope the sport will be featured in the next Winter Olympics. Events like this past weekend's Ice Climbing World Cup in Edmonton are making it feel possible. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
It does feel like you're kind of on the precipice of falling off at any moment.
Sarah Lilly from Canmore is in Edmonton for the UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup, excited to show off her skills on the world stage. Speed is measured on the ice wall, while difficulty is done on the more consistent and angular wooden surface.
It requires like a lot of body tension. The holds are artificial, so they're like designed specifically to be used in certain ways and to be hard to use.
Many of Lilly's competitors came a lot farther, like U.S. team captain Gregory Love, who came from New York for his first World Cup.
Once you lose tension, you're off the wall. It's just like, and you can fall at any point.
Athletes dedicated by their love of a sport that's taxing on both the body and the mind.
I've worked a lot on the mental game, so like when I focus, I'm like in the moment on the wall. Like I actually like blur out everything behind me, and I'm just one with my tools in that moment.
You can't just ladder up the thing. You need to think about which direction you're holding your axe.
Strong muscles as well as sometimes strong teeth are required, with the work it takes to get to the top, the ultimate reward.
And it's very satisfying when you stick like really hard moves, and especially ones that maybe you've been trying for a long time to work on.
Edmonton's Joseph Banks started climbing at local bouldering gyms. Seeing the World Championship 2 years ago inspired him to take his sport to the next level.
It's like the best feeling in the world when you finally top out, especially after climbing for a long time and being under so much tension. Like sometimes it's just like a huge release.
Ice climbing's continuing popularity in Edmonton, a point of pride for organizers and athletes who hope to see the sport in the next Winter Olympics. Until then, this World Cup is the chance to make new friends.
Everyone's pretty tight, and even though everyone's competing against each other, they tend to be pretty good friends.
A race to the top while creating a community along the way. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. Have a great night.